Hops juice.
I may need to get some hops juice.
I got a story, poem, song thingy that I could do if you want.
To stall? Well, you shouldn't waste it if you got like actual content that's decent. Oh, this is awkward. We need one more. Where's Star? Did he ever get back on whether or not he's gonna make it home in time?
Yeah, they didn't say anything though.
I am going to add the. He said to add the. Does anybody know what time or where the dance thing is tomorrow? Welcome, by the way, you're in the pre-stream.
He did send an invite and I accepted.
Join the dance party?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the dance party info?
Just 1 second. Where's that?
White Heart, 2 o'clock.
Is that white, H-A-R-T, space or no space?
Yeah. White space heart, like you said, like a deer. 2 o'clock tomorrow.
Dance party Saturday at 2 p.m. in White Heart.
Did you figure Mattermost out, Rick?
Well,
you have
not
to
in browser, and
in the client you have to do a force refresh.
Yeah,
that got me too.
For the
clear cache and reset.
If you open the app and you go to File and then under File sign into another server.
I don't have the app.
Oh, you don't have the desktop. Okay.
Yeah, at least on my phone, and I'm trying to turn off my phone back on to see. Now.
Yeah, the phone won't work until we get the SSL rigged up.
Yeah.
Oh, I just revealed that we're vulnerable.
Are you streaming already?
Yeah, we're streaming. Of course we're streaming. You not see people chatting?
I didn't even open yet. I didn't know you hit it. You said, are you ready? I didn't know you hit it.
It's the pro pre-stream, man.
Customer service is officially pretty much up to date. Anything that comes in now, we're processing real time.
That is awesome.
Yes, you guys are, by the way, are both awesome. You're awesome too, Lisp. I've told you that a number of times over the years.
Thank you.
And the other thing that's awesome, I think I mentioned I tried to hire somebody to be CS who was in the neighborhood who I just knew was a competent person. I had somebody asking, like, why are they not doing CS? Well, so I spent a lot of time working with them trying to teach them the ropes of CS stuff, and they know CS stuff. The problem is they don't know our game.
Yeah.
And oh my god, the learning curve on the game and like trying to explain to her like all the different like pledge levels and box stuff. So she is shipping, and I just saw that another $200 came off of stamps, which must mean that she shipped about another 20 boxes out. So, that part she is doing, and that part is great. But not knowing the game and not being a serious MMO player, her doing CS was just not a great fit. But she is shipping boxes and taking them to the post office, which is what I really need. Actually, I really need about 100 things. I could use a back rub too. And I'm not going to get a back rub. My normal back rub giver is upstairs. She came home and was coughing, Maxine, and she has 102 fever. My wife just texted me. I should point out she texted me from the other room. And my eyes are killing me from, one, not much sleep, but also from the allergies. I'm just, like, my eyes have just been, like, gushing fluids.
Same.
I keep thinking, like, the rain is going to clear it up. Rain is not clearing it up. Oh, and we're behind. I think, let's see. I'm not even sure where one day ends and the next one begins. I see a Twizgarm or Gravhost. I see something there that I can't quite read because I'm looking at the wrong... Antonix follow. Lancel Lancer main resub 11. 11? I didn't even know it goes to 11. A Skaggy Media raid. The Mangar raid, then a Scooby-Doo 500 bits, and a John Marcus. Scooby-Doo, where are you? The weather outside is frightful is still the phrase because I'm too lazy to change it. It will be going to go down in history as the most used phrase most weeks in a row, thanks to this stupid 8-week release that we have. But the good news is, or bad news, depending on how much work you have left to get done, in my case, it's only 2 weeks until the release, a little under 2 weeks. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Oh, and today I'm on QA. I see Zolivar has figured that out.
I did this.
Dark Winter.
I did this vocabulary regional test. It's spookily accurate. Everybody's getting like, that's funny.
Let me finish up the dance party announcement. Hey, Catherine Rose. Thank you, Catherine Rose. Just putting up the dance party message right now. Featuring DJ Darkstar. Join in for the fun. Save. All right. That should be live on live, but I can't see because I'm not on live. Drink your Ovaltine.
Drink more Ovaltine.
Yeah, drink more of them.
Same bat phrase.
I love Ovaltine.
And same bat prize again. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? And you will see I am in the QA client today. Because I was going to show off a few things here. I have not actually looked at these myself except in the editor. I have not checked them out in the
reading Scotty's post about
actual client.
medieval paintings of cats licking their butts, and it's magical.
Wow. Well, it looks like we're up to 100 people. Did you have some time filler there, Ravelox?
Sure.
Were you going? Is that what you were going to read? Is the cats licking their butts post?
No. No, I'm going to embarrass myself in other ways. This should be about 3 or 4 minutes, so don't get scared. It's not too long. This is the story of the hare who lost his spectacles. Owl loved to rest quietly whilst no one was watching. Sitting on a fence one day, he was surprised when suddenly a kangaroo ran close by. Now, this may not seem strange, but when Owl overheard Kangaroo whisper to no one in particular, "The hare has lost his spectacles." Well, he began to wonder. Presently, the moon appeared from behind a cloud, and there, lying in the grass, was Hare. In the stream that flowed by the grass was a newt, and sitting astride a twig of a bush, a bee. Ostensibly motionless, the hare was trembling with excitement, for without his spectacles he was completely helpless. Where were his spectacles? Could someone have stolen them? Had he mislaid them? What was he to do? Bee wanted to help, and thinking he had the answer, began, "You probably ate them, thinking they were a carrot." "No," interrupted Owl, who was wise. "I have good eyesight, insight, and foresight. How could an intelligent hare make such a silly mistake?" But all this time, Owl had been sitting on the fence, scowling. Kangaroo were hopping mad at this sort of talk. She thought herself far superior in intelligence to the others. She was their leader, their guru. She had the answer. "Hare, you must go in search of the optician." But then she realized that Hare was completely helpless without his spectacles, and so Kangaroo loudly proclaimed, "I can't send Hare in search of anything." "You can, Guru, you can," shouted Newt. "You can send him with Owl." But Owl had gone to sleep. Newt knew too much to be stopped by so small a problem. "You can take him in your pouch." But alas, Hare was much too big to fit into Kangaroo's pouch. All this time it had been quite plain to Hare that the others knew nothing about spectacles. As for all their tempting ideas, well, Hare didn't care. The lost spectacles were his own affair, And after all, hair did have a spare pair. Thank you.
Aren't we supposed to do like snaps or something like that?
That's
What
that's
was
I
that?
can't do it. My fingers are oily.
Oh, snapping.
Supposed to be doing the
the beatnik.
yeah.
That was an excerpt from the Passion Play by Jethro Tull.
Sweet. I may not look it. Ravlox, you look it. But I am a pretty big Jethro Tull fan. Been to see him live a few times.
Cool.
Heavy metal artist of the year.
Yeah, beat out Metallica,
Yes,
Crest
sir.
of a Knave. I went to that tour.
Farm on the freeway.
Yep. Said she was a dancer. Now it's Elgarion's turn. He has to name a song off of it, or he's out.
Oh, I'm
Isn't,
out.
isn't that the game?
I'm not a music guy.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I couldn't name you any Jethro Tull songs.
We had such high hopes.
I threatened to sing "Thick as a Brick" on here, the entire thing, one day.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Except no one even gets that type of joke.
Has Maxine been introduced to recorders yet? She's a little young.
Recorders, you mean as in like the flute type thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, she has a recorder. I have good news. She broke it almost immediately. It's like one of those two-piece dealies where like you put the top on there and she like dropped it and the place where it goes on broke and so it doesn't make noise now. I know I was super sad about that.
No more hot cross buns. Somebody put a Facebook meme of it's a Frozen songbook with an included recorder, and it was, "Do you know someone with friends? Do you hate that person?"
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Oh, that's so sweet, Pikachu. I knew Lancel Lancermane really liked my singing and was just
We're doing
lying.
raffle today. We're not doing the in-game command.
Oh no, we're gonna do
both.
the in-game command too. It's just I was doing one raffle for the pre-game,
Oh,
for the
gotcha.
pre-stream. I'll do that drawing right when we just before we go live in about 5 minutes, 7 minutes. And the reason I'm giving away an automaton is that was the first thing that Wizard Smoke hooked up to use the NPC dialogue system. So right now the automatons. If you want to get in there, so that's why I was giving one away. Other stuff will have it in there, but that should be available here on QA.
Welcome our new automaton overlords.
I see on the Cutter store we got a silver mini automaton. Is that what you're wanting to give away?
That's what I was giving away. Yeah,
Okay.
I know it's not the same thing. Maybe not be the same thing. Can you craft the other automaton? How do you get the other automaton?
There were several from rewards, like full-size ones and stuff.
Oh, so you got to have a reward. So you put it on a creature that only some people can get.
Yeah. Unless you reissue the.
All right. Well, hopefully people have that one.
Okay.
But anyways, that is hooked up. Currently, this is part of the testing right now. One, we just need some testing on it and feedback. And two, right now he just apparently I did not reply to a message he sent me, so he just set the limits to I think 1,000 characters for low and then 5,000 for high. Although I don't think we have a high object in there, but I'll try and get some high objects. I'll tag some more NPCs now that I just heard. Not everybody can even have that NPC. But I'll tag some more for the next QA build I do. Let's see. I'm going to upper tiers. I am currently crying upper tiers. Actually, just my eyes are watering, and if I rub my eyes will be a disgusting red mess.
Mine are super dry and like stingy.
Oh, look, there's somebody here.
Do an Alt F. I bet somebody's somewhere. Probably in private.
Come on, Vespers, you gotta get some help.
I don't think Vesper needs any help.
Oh, yeah? Oh, what? That didn't get changed out? Alright, I must have missed a save or missed a check-in.
Oh, is there a new last year?
Well, I did a couple things. So one is I added the text so we can add in random lists. So, but rather than right now, the way the this is like prime stream material I'm using here, but I'll go ahead and talk about it. But yeah, you can actually, rather than it being a fix, it is always exactly this one barbarian, that one mage, this. You can actually do a list. I need to do a little more work on it, but it's working.
Cool. That's awesome.
So the reason I did that was this morning I was like, how can we not have this tech already in this type of situation? There's some insanity that goes along with trying to add that. Things that seem simple rarely
I
are.
think Dan and Keith know how to do it through other means. It's a lot more difficult.
Oh, yeah.
Spaghetti Unity menus.
So this is probably one that Vespers already reported. I made a different version of this thing, but I put these in for my initial test. I must still have it saved locally. But there's another version here that is a black obelisk or a black floating obsidian shard that gives buffs to everything that shows up down here.
Oh, nice. Like the.
But it.
What was the hot swamp?
Yeah. So mysterious swamp. But it has similar rules to that. This one, because it is the Kobold version, won't even buff undead guys. Lame. But anyway, so it has a similar mechanic there. So basically, will become there will now be a big big black floating shard of obsidian that floats right here. It's probably 3 meters tall. And you basically, again, you've got the choice of either you can pull them out. If you fight them around there, then just whatever the shard ends up giving for the buff, because it'll pick from a random set of 4 different things. Very similar to what the Kobold device was doing. But again, it's one thing it does is it adds some interest to the combat. If you just do the exact same thing every time, you're going to be fighting it the least efficient way. And again, this is to be realist or be honest. Oh, another thing I should point out is there's no more attunement on QA. Technically there is. I set it at 5 million. If you guys can get to 5 million, then I'll go fix wherever you're getting that from. But yeah, so basically it'll force players to play a little bit differently each and every time. And thank you, Cool It, and thank you, Submarine Mike, and again, thank you, Kenneth123 and Hollyhock and Mythic. Hollyhock, I was hoping that Sonya would be on here. To explain the whole pot thing. So now that the pot is locked, he can actually do it, but he said they normally don't do changes between releases because we do it during the downtime. I'm going to see if we can come up with a way to do it during the week. There's just some risks. We've actually done that before, and we've stranded some people in limbo before because we didn't properly evict people.
That's not good, yeah.
And so the town was still there with some people's lots in them, but the town didn't exist in the world anymore.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah. So there's no way to get to the town. There's no way to get this stuff, basically it was a town that did not exist anymore. It was still in the database, of course. But it did not actually, it was bad. Let me just say that.
Sanio says add him to the live stream.
He's gonna get on here. Okay. And thank you very much, Gadra. Oh, and it's 3:59. That means I'm just about to do the drawing here. I'll go ahead and do that, and then we can close up, and then we'll start doing the normal loot thing where you have the phrase, which is not Dark Winter. And Vesper, I see you're in here. Again, the thing in the middle must be a... Oh yeah, and they probably will attack it and kill it. The thing in the middle will be a... That'll be fixed in the next patch I do. I apparently just didn't check something in. I've got a whole new variation set of those guys.
Chris, I have new headphones. I just want to check to make sure people can hear me.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Great.
These guys seem
And your
to be...
explanation about pods being updated in the middle of the month was pretty much what it is. That's what I would have said. It's troublesome sometimes because if a pod gets updated in the middle of the month and we haven't done some other eviction steps and stuff, it gets to be pretty sticky business for items that get lost in the void.
Hey, how is we love you, Samia, but how is Hero doing?
He's doing great. So I went to visit my mom during Christmas break, and he stayed here at a boarding place. He did mostly okay, but then he had a couple of bathroom accidents. But when when I came back home and I picked him up, he's been great since then. He had like a big improvement since we got back together. So he's outside right now. I'm sure at some point he'll hear me talking, come in, and start barking and annoying us as usual. But yeah,
that means he's feeling good, right?
Yeah, he's doing pretty awesome. Pretty happy. He did. He was like doing slightly better, in the weeks that followed his operation, and then he did a little bit better. Of course, like I said, when he was boarding, and then when we got home, he did like a big leap of improvement. So I'm very happy, very proud.
Good to hear.
He's got a lot of energy back now too, so he has to go on long walks all the time. Where prior to and just after the operation, it was all about short walks. And he doesn't care if it's raining or anything. He's got to do like this really long walk. It doesn't matter if I'm sick. He just wants to go, go, go.
We had a dog get She's fine, but she got porcupined in the face 2 days ago.
Oh man.
My ex-wife sent me a picture, and I saw it and deleted it immediately. It was so gruesome, but she's doing fine now. She's fine.
Trying out, we've got a lich here. I'm not sure what's up with this guy, but he is not behaving.
Did you see that, Keith? Nymphadora says that you look like you work for Lando Calrissian. It's the headphones.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that dude? That's funny.
Lobot.
Is that his name?
Lobot, yep.
This guy's turning to face me.
He's distracted. He's
Yeah.
thinking about other things. He's got family problems at home. His job, he might be laid off from his job. Things like that.
Let's see what happens if I do a kill all. Does that get him? Nope. Oh.
Kill all, kill the players. Oh.
Oh yeah. Oh, speaking of, we need to ask Bobby. He made that. You can do kill space and then a number, and that's meters.
So
But
like,
we need to
five
kill
or kill
all
10.
enemies is what we need.
Oh yeah. Kill
I can do
NPCs.
I remember.
Or all enemies actually better because then you don't kill shopkeepers and stuff.
Yeah. All monsters.
Or companions. Yeah.
I remember I just was in Lost Vale one day on live, and Reese was testing, and I was just idling in there, and he kept killing all to reset the fights, and I went, but that counts as a PvP kill, so I went from like, I don't know, 15th into the game, and I just all of a sudden opened the Discord PvP bot, and I had died 40 times to Reese.
Nice.
Wiped off the board.
Oh, and we're actually, it's time to get busy actually talking about official stuff here. Let me go ahead and close the giveaway and do a pick, and then we're going to move over to the other ones, the normal system.
I'm not going to be able to stay the
Here we go.
whole... I'm going to have to put food in this kid's face.
Skeggy wins again. For those who don't know, he won at least once last week. Feel like he's won a couple times here in the last couple
What?
weeks.
You said Skeggy won?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Good luck.
Like,
All right.
So the silver mini automaton coming his way.
What time is it in Great Britain, Skig? It's got to be late, right?
Hold on, let me set game time, and then I'm going to get busy talking on some stuff here. Greetings, Avatar. We're ready to kick off this official stream 5 minutes late. We know we'll go at least 5 minutes overtime, so you'll still get your money's worth. And I just want to thank a few more people there. It looks like Gadra and Durican are the only ones I've not thanked. Thank you guys all. As always, thank you, Kenneth, and thank you, Scooby-Doo, and thank you, Catherine Rose, for your above and beyond support. But guys, again, we are coming up on our first release in what feels like forever. We've been through the holidays, and then this month, just how the month falls, it falls on the next to the last day of the month. So we got a really long release here. Unfortunately, a lot of people are out, so it'll probably be more like 5 weeks of work release than the 7 weeks it actually was. But we are getting a ton of stuff done. Here's one of the things. This was actually just in the last day that this started happening. But apparently I have a glitch here. I'm not sure what this is. This is probably due to a bad ID issue. Because there were some integration errors, which means nothing to you guys out there. But the other people in the stream know what I'm talking about. Which is you can have some bad IDs, which can cause some problems if it gets a mismatch between the server and client and stuff. But anyways, looks like it got most of the way through there, though. And I already saw one bug. Again, I'll get another build started here in just a little bit right after the stream for release tomorrow morning, so you can actually play it how it's supposed to be played. But there's lots of tuning going on. So let me talk about a couple of the tuning things here. Oh, I'm horrible. We don't have Star in the stream with us today. Star is going to be, if he doesn't show up here, he's going to show up. He is doing the dance party tomorrow at 2 o'clock in White Hart. I set the message of the day. I will also tweet about it. I'm going to attempt to get there, although we just had our plans thrown into chaos as my wife just texted me that Maxine, my 5-year-old, has 102-degree temperature. So that sounds like I may be staying home watching movies with a little kiddo. But he will be there tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Join the dance party. We've got some player GMs who will be there almost certainly to help make things extra fun. But let's see, we got some, what have we done this release? What do we have? We have some cool stuff to show off here. We have episode 2 Continents coming right along, right?
Working on it right now.
All right, that's what I want to hear. Don't leave that chair, except to move. He's got to move here in a day or two. Are you moving this weekend or next weekend?
No, 10 days.
10 days, okay, perfect. Actually, no, that's horrible. That's right on the release.
I have to figure out the Google transfer my fiber to the new unit, but hopefully it goes seamlessly.
But we are doing, this is some of the our Shroud of the Avatar team here today joining me. We are doing prizes today. I know that 97.3% of you know exactly what I'm talking about, but there are 2 ways to win the prize. Oh, I ruined it. How many ways are there to win prizes?
I'm going to guess 2.
That's the gag.
Smile.
But anyways, there are 2 ways to win. One is you can buy something from the store, from the Crown store, or not from the Crown store, from the actual buy a Crown Kodo package, or you can say, what is it in game? Winter something?
Remember.
The weather outside is frightful.
The weather outside is frightful.
Nice.
That's right. They threw me off with the dark winter talk earlier.
Yeah, you just said it wasn't that, and I'm confused.
Yeah, the weather outside is frightful is not as memorable. See, when I think of that anything winter related, I just think of Star's voice hearing in my head over and over again, dark winter, dark winter.
You say it in any in-game chat channel.
And you can say it in any in-game chat channel. Do not say it in the Twitch stream except to troll us, which is what a lot of people do. But, sorry, I've got people message me in game. 2 ways to win. We're going to be doing some drawings here, and guess what? Now that I got some help, some awesome help, we are doing prize delivery almost in real time-ish. You can thank Elgarion for doing the prize delivery.
Oh, you're welcome. Yep. I'll get it right as they come in.
All right.
Already sent out the first one.
Sweet.
Nice.
Awesome. That's good, because we're on QA and I'm not going to be able to send them out today, so that's very beneficial. What is going on? Oh, there's a person there. I was going to say, that's good. That makes it look like there's something coming out of my booty. That's good. But anyways, if you're watching the stream there. Today we're going to be talking about the 2020 vision, but we're also going to be talking about some of the changes that just went in the last week or two. One of the things going in is for balance. So for those who don't know, Monday is MLK Day. I will be a little distracted because I will have a Maxine home then, maybe a sick Maxine. But that reminds me, because I have a dream that this release, we remove attenuation completely from the game. So that's the part you can cheer about, is killing attenuation. So the part you can hate me for, that is the part that will take away all that goodwill and more, is that whatever your favorite thing is, I will probably be nerfing it in terms of skills. If there's something that you know is overpowerful and that's the only thing you use and you always win, that thing will probably get nerfed. Thank you, Catherine Rose. I know you appreciate the removal of attenuation. I watched the list of people, and you'll be happy to know, Catherine Rose, you were in the group that had the highest experience points per person in the group over time, as I was looking at my metrics trying to identify things, and that was actually, you were in Tartarus. I think that might have been yesterday that you were in there with a group of 7. But you are winning, Catherine Rose. But anyways, we're going to try to remove attenuation. I'm actually turning it up to 5 million because what I found is at 2 million, I'm not going to be able to tell much because you guys, too many of you can easily get 2 million experience points an hour. 2 million has always kind of been our target for where we want to be. But there's 5 scenes where you can get 2 million pretty easily per hour if you know what you're doing. And then the rest of the scenes are way down the list. I think it's basically all the control points, and then you fall off to like the fall is probably in the like 8th or 9th place, and the rise is in there somewhere. But the control point scenes are all super OP. So I have been doing some work on those. I can tell you some of the stuff because I had people saying I need to talk about what I'm changing. So I can tell you one thing I've changed is AEs have a shorter duration. Will have a shorter duration in R74. Not like massively shorter, but they will be somewhere between probably 30 and 40% shorter duration, depending on what your, all your stats are. So that's one thing that's changing. So there's another thing that's changing that I can actually link a document showing off things. Another thing that's going to be changing is attunement will be used to also calculate in the focus modifier. So that for those who don't know, there's a focus cost multiplier that is used to determine the cost of casting spells. If you have a really high skill level, and this is how it works right now, if you have a high skill level, it'll actually cost you more to cast the spell because the spell gets more and more powerful as you go along, the higher you get. So it costs you more focus to cast. Or same thing with skills. The one thing that was also added in for this release is an attunement. Attunement also gets used in that math as well. Let me get that doc up and I'll just share it over here. And actually, I guess I can just drag it up here.
Attunement will make it cost less? Is that what you're saying?
Attunement will make it cost more. The idea is trying to match up focus cost with power. I made sure that the focus cost is significantly lower. It's actually lower at low attunements, but when you get up into the 200 range. Now what you're looking at here, again, I just need to share this doc because you're not going to be able to read that. When you get up into the 200 range, it'll be, it can be, it's only a little bit more. It goes from like, right now the multiplier for if you have 130 skill, the multiplier is a 3.65. If you get up to 200, and that's with 100 attunement. If you have a 200 attunement, it'll be 4.8. If you have a 300 attunement, it'll be 5.5, or no, that's off, 5.0. So you're talking about if you have a 300 attunement, you'll go up about 50% in terms of focus cost. So a lot of this, Mia Sway, yes, that just hurts mages. So again, there's a couple of problems here. People always want to there's some people that they want to hate on. I know right now everybody hates archers. They are OP, but they're only OP in some situation. In terms of experience, they're not as OP as the mages. There's going to be some other stuff that'll come online that I'll be making some changes for archers. I'm just trying to figure out what it is to change that does not break how archers want to play in a significant way, but does give the needed improvement in terms of toning down the power. By far and away, the biggest problem in terms of experienced grinders power in the game is, and it's pretty much the only way really to grind, is like massive AEs all over the place and just sit back and rain AEs down on everything. So again, that has been the problem. I have taken a few passes at it. I think this will be another one that'll be a pass in the right direction. For many of you, all it'll mean is you'll have to cast your AEs. And we're not talking about like now your Ring of Fire lasts 5 seconds or something. It's still like for the fire mages, you'll still be up probably in the 20-second range. It's just that they were in the like cast it once and come back in a few minutes. I'll go get a soda and everything will burn to death while I'm gone.
Yeah.
That
sounds good.
But anyway, so that's a couple of changes that are going in. There's going to be some more that'll be coming in. There will be some changes. So archers are... You cast AoEs and then try to stay alive. Yes. That is exactly. And that will also be continuing on. You cast an AoE and try to stay alive. But one of the things that's going to be going on that I know is going to be happening is the damage for charging your weapon. For charging free attacks will be toned off. Right now it is again, it's linear. It's going to be ticking. It'll be toned down a little bit at the very high end. That's one that will not affect archers on a daily play, you know, how they normally play. That will really affect the PvP, trying to eliminate some of those one-shot things where the archers are hitting super big, and a lot of that is charged shot. And charged aimed shot is the other one.
Sorry, archers, but yeah, 0 focus cost one-shots or...
Yeah. So... And I'm reading what people are saying about that. Hold on, I'm reading the feedback here. Yeah. You guys, again, it's one of those things. I announce this stuff. I try to show you the exact numbers on things. And people freak out before they even try it. That is pretty much how it always goes. But let me get you guys a link to this thing. Anyone with the link can view. Of course, I'm doing that all on the live stream there. And now I'll post it over here for you guys. There you go. So again, this is one of those things I want you guys to do. I want you to, I see Waxman down there saying, doesn't bother me, I'll still melt upper tiers. That's one of the things I want you guys to do. I want you to see what you can do in terms of experience, because again, the limits are coming off. So there is 1 or 2 more things that are going to happen that will slow down some of these scenes. So before there wasn't a way when you had the waves, there was a way. The way it used to work is you basically would have wave 1, and you would kill stuff in it, and then you'd sit around for 2 minutes, and then wave 2. And then you'd sit around for 2 minutes, and then wave 3, and you'd sit around for a couple minutes. And actually, it would, or you can compress them. So once you kill wave 1, wave 2 immediately. But anyways, you would get through the waves and you'd roll through the waves. So a while back, a change was made that once you kill a wave, it respawns almost instantly. I actually looked, and it's 4 seconds for the respawn, and that was actually like some hard-coded number that somebody had in there, and there's no way to put a slight delay between that. So the one thing I've added is I've added a way that we can set a delay between those respawns, because actually in a lot of my watching of people, it's pretty much, you get the right group up there that get the AEs going, and they'll kill multiple waves of, like in upper tiers, like of those early rounds without, hardly a pause. And you can't tell where one wave begins and one ends. It's just endless death. And this is why also, again, I know there's other reasons too, but one of the things contributing to people screaming, "You've got to add AE loot." It's like, well, you shouldn't be killing hundreds of creatures as fast as you are. But anyway, so there's going to be a small pause. I actually have it set in the version that's here right now, which looks like it probably won't reset because I'm standing in it, and there's one bugged mob down there. But it is set to 8 seconds. I'll leave and come back in a minute. but it's set to 8 seconds. So there'll be a small downtime between it. For the later ones, where there's now some big things, there's 2 more waves added to the end of upper tiers, by the way. All the creatures got a little bit of a buff along the way. That'll do a little slowdown. There's also a mechanic where there's a shard that will spawn in the middle that buffs all the undead around it. It's not in every wave. It's kind of every other wave. Actually, I think it's 2 on, 1 off, 2 on, 1 off, 2 on, 1 off. But that's also something that you'll have to kill before the next wave will trigger. So that, and those are actually pretty tough. Like 5,000 hit points or something like that. Or maybe I lowered them 2,500 in the final version. But anyways, those are kind of tough, and they will buff up the stuff around them, making them all a little challenging. So the idea is, again, to not significantly nerf people in terms of making you weaker. The idea is trying to make some of the encounters more interesting, make the creatures a little bit tougher. Some of them are getting a few more special abilities that they can do. Some of them are getting some faster movement. Just lots of that type of stuff. So trying to balance it, trying to not nerf your power, but make the creatures more challenging, bring them up so that they're, that's the way to balance it. There's a few things though. Again, AEs are by far, in terms of total DPS that you guys do, and you guys have tools to measure this stuff too. You guys know the total DPS you can do on a lot of those things is crazy over the top. And yes, as Joe's the Dark is saying, as a fire mage, my focus is almost full at all times. You guys will only nerf other types of mages. I rarely see people who have serious focus trouble. I'd love to hear from people who say they have. Again, I've not seen everybody out there, but few people rarely run into focus issues. And that's another one I can see because focus potions never get used as well.
Yeah. Well, PvP's a different beast too. We'll keep that in mind too.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is also the other big thing I'm trying to make sure this is doing is not hurting like lower level people. This is something really aimed at. I'm trying to get the focus at the end game to a point where it's actually something you have to think about, that it's actually a resource that you have to manage, just like your health. That's how it should be in most games, and this is we'll get it a little bit closer.
Will bards be able to help the party's focus regeneration?
Yes, so bards, I need to get the rest of the bard stuff checked in, but that should be going live on QA sometime next week. My goal is probably just going to be to have the first 2 tiers of the bard tree done. The other thing is the bard tree had always been planned to be an episode 2 skill, but we don't have a episode 2 trainer yet. Like we don't have a place where we can go in episode 2, and we were just going to limit that by making it so the only places you could learn the bard tree stuff would be in an episode 2 scene. So I may have to figure out how to get an episode 2 scene in there early. Maybe that's what the old Ulfheim will come back as. Episode 2 scene that's old Ulfheim.
That's good.
But anyways, that's the other challenge I've got to get in there. But that should be coming online next week. Again, I'll probably keep it just because I have an insane number of things going on. I'll probably keep it to a minimum. But let's see, some other stuff that went on. So again, attenuation's turned off on the QA server right now. There were some more quality of life things just from talking to players. I did a stream on Wednesday. I talked to you guys. You guys gave me a lot of feedback on stuff. One of them was mail stuff. So let me...
Oh yeah, that's great. I'm excited for that.
I've been doing a lot of changes to. I see you're in Tartarus. There's a lot of change where you were. A lot of changes to the decorations and props and some layout in Tartarus. There's a little extra pizzazz.
Now, did you, in the pyramid maze in Tartarus, did you mean to make it easy to get on top of the walls?
I didn't do anything to the height of the walls. Oh, I put in the rubble of the broken walls, so I guess people can climb up those and get out of those.
All right, these are old messages in here. So let's see. So let me send an email here. I'll send one to Vesper since I just saw him a few minutes ago. So here's one thing. Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm going to send it to myself so I can actually see what it looks like. You can now type longer messages here to avoid having to resort to paper every time. Yes.
Very nice.
All right, so that's one thing. So here's another one. I'm gonna send myself. I get a lot of stuff. Yeah, I know it's the little things though. For me, this is a big deal. This actually came up because I was trolling El Gary on a stream, and he was like, "I'll do the prize delivery," and I was like, "Great, you're doing it. I'm gonna do prizes that are all things that are slightly more than 10 because it's so annoying that you have to send 2 emails."
Castle Wall set, yeah.
Yeah. So I went and looked into what was actually needed for that and what the actual reason we limited to 10, and I think that's one that could go up significantly higher as well, because it's one of those things. I think in the early days we were being overly cautious about server load and server performance, but we actually do a pretty good job of staggering those things. So like when you put up 100 items, oh, that's no good. Creature spawn QA, that's a lot of red. Pretend you did not see that. Nothing to see there, guys. That's not even the map I want to go to.
Don't look behind the curtain.
But yeah, so again, quality of life on the email. I swear I will get in that right click to reply to an email. That's the other one I want to get in.
That would be nice.
Yeah, and again, it's so frustrating. And you guys have such long names. You guys take this role-playing thing seriously. No one wants to type those super long names. 4 letters, that's all you need. You want a teleport board? I think we're going to have... I'll get some more teleport items out there. I know one of the items that's going to be coming up was... I was talking to one of the guys who writes for... Occasionally we'll write an article on his Red for MMORPG.com. And he's a veteran. We've got at least one veteran on the team. I'm not a veteran, but I am a military brat. Which, if you don't know, that's one of those things that I think we're really seeing now with my wife and I, is like she grew up, lived in like just a couple places her entire life and has friends from her childhood. Whereas I was a military brat and I moved every 6 months. I know a couple people from high school, and that's pretty much it. A couple people from high school, and a couple of those people are on death row, so that kind of tells you something.
A couple, more than one?
All right, technically one is on death row, and there's another one that we think is probably going to go to death row. I hardly knew the other one, but one of them was a good friend of mine.
Eek.
Yeah, had to go to the trial and all. Fortunately, they misspelled my name on the report, so it's not very Googleable. But anyway, so it's a very different experience being a military brat versus somebody who lives in one place, like, those childhood friends. So I paid a little bit of price, but I was only mentioning this because one of the things we're going to be doing is a military charity that's going to be an item that'll be coming up that I was thinking of making having a tombstone. Actually, Damon said he wanted to make it. Why doesn't he want me doing art? I don't understand. But he wanted to do a tombstone that will take you, when you use it, it'll take you to Brittany graveyards, because that's going to be another thing we're going to be doing. Is one, I'm going to send out a recapture email to those guys who had their tombstones, who never actually filled in their information, never came to claim. So I'm going to send out one to those guys. You may be one of those people that you didn't even know you had a tombstone, because there were a lot that did not get answered.
That's right, because I want to get all those tombstones populated. I have plans for that graveyard.
And then the other is we continue to add, anytime we've had a player who has fallen, or a dev friend, of course, Brad, not too long ago, but we also put those there. But anyways, we're going to do a Memorial Day things. Red gave me a charity. I was going to do Wounded Warriors, but he had one that he preferred, and we're going to be doing that charity. I forget which one it is, but it's a military charity that we're going to be doing. But that'll be a teleporter. Of course, it'll take you to a place you really don't go that often, but it's still kind of cool. It's not much to do in Brittany Graveyard except walk around and try to do stuff. It's if you want your 40 hours of game time, this is one I think Ravlox mentioned when we were talking to him early, right when he joined, was 40 hours of gameplay. All you gotta do is go try to find your own tombstone in Central Brittany Graveyard. Good luck. So that's another one of those that's on the list of things. It didn't make the 2020 vision, but not because it's not going to get done, just because it's small enough that I didn't consider it a big feature, but finding your gravestone. But anyways, I know that I was going to show you this one real quick, and then I will get to what we're supposed to be doing, which is talking about 2020 vision stuff. Why am I at this table? I'll save the time. The salvage stuff's been turned up to 50. I have not seen any performance problems with it. The initial comments on it were someone thought that would be more of an n squared problem with the salvaging stuff, and they didn't want to do it. So putting 15 on there, that was like some magic number picked. Well, I tried 50 and I didn't have any problems with it. And I think the n squared problem they fixed is really an n times n, but it really gets spread out over all that time, so who cares? It doesn't matter how, that part. But anyways, we'll probably turn that up more and maybe make that like 100. Hey, Faded X Ghost and Stymie LLTS. For those who don't know, I tweeted about it. Oh, and thank you for Eileen Dragonfire for the host as well. But Stymie got a oh crud, I can't remember what it's called. It's not the Ankh, it's the hedonism. He got a tattoo. Hedonism, ethical hedonism. That's it. Hold on, I'm pulling it up. Bam. Right there, guys. So if you're hardcore, that's what you do. Of course, Jack had to answer back with his tattoos as well. Which are also legit. Look, you can see him trying to flex. Are you out there, Jack? I'm gonna make fun of you. It's one of those things, you get an arm tattoo like that, you gotta train. All right, but I think
That's Laz.
Oh, is that Laz?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't want to make fun of Laz. I only like making fun of Jack. All right, well, let me tear through these things. We talked last Friday about 2020 vision stuff and what's going to be coming with them. I talked on Wednesday about them, and I got through most of them. Again, just to do a quick summary up to here, I'm not going to talk in length about them because I did that in the other streams. But, of course, Episode 2 stuff's going to be coming up. The Halls of Balance, a new challenge dungeon that you will not survive. I'm sure you guys will tear it up, and I'll have to make it 10 times as hard. Bard Tree, Major Combat Balance Pass going on right now. Prospector's Canyon, custom NPC combos, live on QA right now. We'll get some more NPCs in there in case you don't have the right type of NPCs, because apparently not everybody gets the right type of NPCs. We'll get some more NPCs in there and get it so you can test it by Monday. Major loot and reward overhaul, working on that as well. Tiered subscription offers, map, bringing back the soda maps and expanding it and speeding it up, whatever it takes to speed it up. New creatures, party size expansion, verbose mode options for combat, attenuation, build system, looking for group expansions to also allow some queuing. Weather, new quest system coming online, scene purchase options, pot customization stuff that'll be let you do. I'm not going to go into details about it. Pot customization stuff, Lua skills, more skills will be added. Theater system, all the tools you need to do a full theater system, Port of Bones, snow shears, pot templates. New home styles, new creatures, Wendigo Yeti, plus a bunch more big cats also will be coming online. Find items, pet tamed creature improvements, mounts, faction system, player craftable outdoor scenes, perk system, crafting system expansion, tame pet progression, town resident chat and online list, more in-game challenges, mail system improvements, already getting some of those. Improved puppy dog sounds in the game, improved inventory filtering and searching options, item history and advancement, guild system expansion, quest system, the main quest line stuff, ransom system overhaul. Oh, we're into the new stuff. Achievement system. The achievement system is one of those things where we did it, and we did it tied into Steam because there was a time, believe it or not, when we thought Steam would be our primary platform for delivery. And we regret that, but we're going to have an actual in-game achievement system. That's one of those things that really, again, we're looking for to get the full game loop in there, we need you guys to feel like you're making progress. There needs to be a real progress or progression loop. And sometimes, again, sometimes that's skills dinging. Sometimes that is gear improving. Sometimes that is seeing yourself relative to others, or in terms of ladders and stuff like that. Sometimes that's just checking boxes on achievements of stuff. I've been to, I've found 50 towns. I've been to 50 pots, whatever it is. I've killed 1,000 trolls. Those type of achievements, they're kind of fun. And again, they give you no power. Maybe they'll give you a title, but it's a system we really need to have that adds a lot to the game. And it's one of those things that's we really needed. We had big visions for the other ones. It did not happen. And again, most players do not play on Steam. And we need to get it in-game rather than it being tied to Steam. Some more new creatures. There's actually 3 Chaos Spawns coming online. Episode 2 main storyline reveal, treasure maps, challenge scenes, and a whole list of other scenes going on. And there's going to be a ton of ongoing work as well. And tons of stuff. So again, this is for 2020. A lot of the stuff is going to be out in this first release. At least a lot of the stuff in the Q1 stuff, there's already going to be some things coming in. Some of the Bard Tree will be in there. The Major Combat Balance Pass will be underway. Episode 2 Overworld map. Let me stare at Travis. Crack a whip. Virtual cracking a whip. Some loot stuff will be going in Episode 1. Attenuation removed will be in the first release. Build system is one of those things you guys don't care about it, but it's part of where I can get more QA builds out for you guys, and we can maintain a QA and a live build at the same time. So you guys do see the benefits. It's just not obvious what the benefits are. But anyways, that is the quick reading over of stuff. That is for 2020. I expect some of the stuff in that list will slip, but only because other stuff comes in and feels more relevant. Again, most of the items in that list have been talked over, at least thought through. Some of them have had a design written for them just to sanity check them. And anyways, I'm excited. Guys, are you excited?
Yay!
Hey,
I actually am going to duck out for a bit and make some food. My kid's homesick from school too, but I'll continue to watch.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Travis. And if anybody wants to volunteer to help Travis move, just let him know.
I already did.
10 days.
Thank you. I'm moving to a different unit in the same apartment complex, so it's going to be really easy.
All right.
It doesn't make it that much easier.
Oh.
You can still use some help. See you later.
See ya. And as Eileen Dragonfire just put out there, wow, how do you get it all in white and bright colors like that, Eileen? The Release 73 Dance Party and Stress Test with DJ Darkstar will be tomorrow at 2 o'clock. There will definitely be some player GMs there. I may be there now because it seems like Maxine, my 5-year-old, has 102-degree temperature and is probably sick. So I may end up being at the dance party after all. And but anyways, show up for that. We'll do things. Maybe I'll even be on there streaming it and doing prizes. I always hate streaming the dance parties. It's fun, but I don't feel like I can do the... You know what? I can just stream it and not worry that I'm playing the music on my stream. Does it mute immediately, or is it only in the recording? Stream experts out there.
What are you trying to...
If I stream the dance party with the music, does it immediately mute, like in real time?
Oh, no.
Depends
No,
on when
it
it
mutes it.
flags.
It mutes it after it's saved.
Okay.
So on the live stream
Yeah,
it'll
that's
be there,
fine.
but once it's saved on the thing for replay, it's muted at that point.
Okay, so if I'm home, I will be there at the dance party, and I will be listening to the music. Hero, and he looks happy. Hey, Hero. And I will also do some prize giveaways for those at the party. Dance party is tomorrow at 2 o'clock at White Hart. So let me get some questions out there. I know you guys have been asking a ton. And let's see, I will copy up some questions.
We did have one in chat. When are the next vault items coming up?
That is one that we need to get out there. That's one of the balls that I dropped over the break. I think there is a jeer for it, but I did not crack the whip on people. But that is one I think Travis, now that he's gone, maybe he was the one supposed to do it. I'm not sure who it is. I'll have to look into it. But there'll be some more vault items that come up here. The other one we dropped the ball on today. Oh, and thank you very much, Faded Ghost and Scooby-Doo and Stymie LLTS and Liz Kimber. Thank you again, Scooby-Doo. 307, that's an odd number. That's for the puppy dog, I guess.
Yeah, he's doing good.
Let's see. Let me give you guys I'll just copy some questions over into the chat for you guys. Scooby-Doo, where are you? Why can I not find my chat anymore? There it is. There you guys.
Here,
Let's
give
see.
the little noises, but I'm gonna resist and not give him any treats. I was doing that too often. He's gonna bark in a second, so I'm gonna mute myself.
Let me get in here and hold on, I'm doing one thing here. Scooby-Doo asks, question, when are we getting the koala pet? You are going to get a koala pet. That'll probably be in the R75 release. It may come out mid R74. For those who don't know, this is one of the things we're trying to revive our charity stuff. We'll put the pink dyes, the magenta dyes back in the Crown store, not in the other store, but in the Crown store. And we're just going to have a certain amount that we give per. That's one of the reasons we didn't do this, for those who didn't know, is if we have stuff for crowns, how much did you pay for those crowns? We have no idea. You know, if we have it in the main store, we know that we just say, like, we give 20%, but we don't know what 20% of crowns is. I'm pretty sure that charities don't want us sending them crowns. So we're just going to set a dollar amount on each one of them that, you know, I forget what the potion's going to cost. Maybe the potions are like, you know, 250 crowns. And we'll say we'll give 50 cents out of every purchase to the charity. Hey, Hero. But the koala bear is going to be one of the first new ones that we have in there. That's going to be a koala bear pet that will be to benefit the bushfires in Australia. There's a number of charities going on with those, and we have. I think Australia may be. It's U.S. obviously. Canada, Germany has quite a few players, and I think Australia it's either third or fourth. We've got quite a few players in Australia, which is surprising. So, but anyway, so a lot of our players are from Australia. We are trying to reach out and make a difference and help people wherever we can on these things. So yes, you will be getting a koala bear pet. There'll be some other things coming out as well. I think I mentioned the Wounded Warrior stuff. Mia Sway, are the mage trees going to be free to unlearn? Sure. Maybe one release I'll make everything free to unlearn across the board, just since there's going to be some big balance stuff coming in. Again, I don't see people doing it, you know, completely unlearning. This is another one where I think people, as soon as I tell people about something, they panic before they even get to try it. But shorter duration AoEs, most people recast before the current duration anyways, just because they don't want to wait for the next one. You know, they don't want to have a gap in there. And the focus stuff I don't think is going to be a problem. I'm trying to continue to push things so that both melee and mages both feel like focus is a resource, a limited resource that they have to manage. Because it's supposed to be a limited resource you have to manage. Otherwise, we just need to take it off. Right now, the only time I ever see it really go down, you know, get to zero for a lot of people is people using like Shield of Air and some other stuff like that. If you guys see any questions in the ones I copied over, feel free to jump on them.
Sure. There's a question here about Guardian and I. Now that we're devs, does it invalidate Jack's challenge for the devs to complete the main quest line without cheating? And I would say that since our main accounts in game are not dev accounts, the challenge is still intact.
Uh-huh. Thumper 75019. Can you give an update on the status of in-game maps? So again, this is one this will probably be towards the end of the month. We'll see when I actually get some free time here. But I'm going to get a server set up. We have two things that we're going to be doing with the server. One is we're going to be making it the new torrent tracker server. It will also be serve as the Soda Maps box. For those who don't know, we have a torrent tracker, which you guys don't even know because once we push a torrent up, there's lots of different people who seed it, and we use a few seed boxes here and there. There's never really a problem with that stuff. And also, if you have your client, unless you've disabled it, your client will seed to other people. I may be off by default these days. I forget if it is or not. But anyways, lots of different ways. We never have a problem delivering those stuff. The thing the torrent box is important for, and the reason we need to upgrade it is, one, it's a pain in the butt. The current one we have only has a 1 terabyte hard drive, and we fill it up pretty quick with the game torrents. If you think about a publish, each publish we're putting out somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 gigs of data. So every now and then we have to go up and free it up and clean it up. The bigger thing though is the current one we have is 100 megabit per second up and down. Now again, it's not doing the actual data delivery to the end user because there's a lot of torrent seeds, but it is the one that seeds those torrent boxes, and we have to push data from our our data center at 100 megabits per second up there. So again, we have this lag of a long time of we got to upload 30 gigabytes, verify a bunch of other stuff over 100 megabit connection. Then once it gets there, it has to seed out to everybody 100 megabits per second. So a good chunk will sometimes, it'll be sometimes an hour or more to get a build, 2 hours to build it, and then it's an hour on the torrent box. Where if we just had a faster box, faster connection, we would cut that time down to minutes rather than hour. But anyways, once that box goes up, that was completely down a rabbit hole. But once that box is up, that is going to also act as that'll be a pretty fast box with NVMe drives. And that will also serve as the main map server. Again, that we're going to be turning over to Ravlox is probably going to be the main guy managing it because he's having so much fun doing web server stuff these last couple days. He can't wait to get his hands on SodaMap.
Oh,
yeah. We had some SSL problems with our internal chat box. But anyways, he'll be in charge, but there'll be a number of other people that will let come in and help from the community. That will bring back all the maps that we used to have. I'm going to do work personally to speed up the transfer because that was a real reason we tried to move away was we underestimated the amount of work it would be to move all the maps over. And then also, just never really finished it. I saw there was a question or a comment there, people saying, finish stuff 100% before you move on. Well, stuff can never really be done 100%, but that was one that really got to a 50% state. And we realized it was a mistake that we need to backtrack on. So anyways, that'll be going live hopefully into January, February timeframe. It will go back and be live. John Marcus. For those who don't know, John Marcus has done a language port of Shroud of the Avatar. He has done it completely through Hackery without any support for us. How goes with adding that language to the game client? We don't need to generate actual data. Game falls to English gracefully. So we looked at it, and it would be a huge pain in the butt for us to add it, and it seems you've got a pretty good working version right now. I'll talk to you in private or on chat on Twitter if you want to, and we can figure out what is actually needed that will actually help things. Because we don't want to do work for it unless it's actually going to help things, and it seems like you've got a pretty good working system right now. Parson Bar, can we please get a global search to show the container that has an object? If you saw in the 2020 vision I just mentioned, let's see, search. Improved inventory filtering and searching was one of them, but there's also a global search system that's mentioned in there. So the answer to your question is yes, you can get that. That's already on the roadmap for 2020. That's another one of those where I put it on, I think I put it in the second half of the year, but like a lot of these things, it'll probably get moved up because it is one of those things that is long overdue. And I think when, people thinking about initially the player, how they're using things, you know what, we have not done it all. We're horrible. You guys have failed me.
Oh, prizes! Prizes!
Okay, well, I'm going to have to do one now, and then I'll do one towards the end of the stream. Let me kick that off.
Well, we go to
and
the
then I'll get
prizes. I
back.
have an answer for one of the questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you want me to go first?
Go. I'm doing the
All right,
prize.
so Lord J.J. Oliver, he says, I've been working on a series of fiction for in-game. Can we get more text/font options, italics, bold, etc., for in-game books? We actually have that stuff. If you go to the player guide, shroudtheavatar.com/player guide, that'll jump you to just the top of it. But if you go down to the writing and publishing books section, there's a little part about custom formatting where you can have bold, italic, underline, and colored text if you want, and you can mix and match too. So it's not like one or the other. You can combine like something that is bold and italic and underline and the color purple or whatever. So that option's there for you if you didn't realize it was in that guide.
All right, we got a live stream here. I didn't do any of them last weekend, so I will do this now. Let's see. So prize time. I'll read this one out, then I'll let you guys fight over who does the next one. Cordovan Harp goes to... Man, I don't even have any idea. Do Trinador, because it could be Doubt Renador or the Outrenator. Anyways, Ornate Marching Band and Shirt Hat goes to Han. 5-piece one-man band goes to Duffery Blake. Ornate Grand Piano goes to Absolum. And Large Fancy Pavilion goes to Oran. O-R-A-A-N. And you've got that list up there in the live streams channel, Elgarion.
I'm
For your delivery.
So I'm waiting for Rav to post it into Discord until I get logged into that again.
Oh, okay, that's right.
I'll do it if he hasn't.
All right.
Yeah, I just gave it to him in PM. Sorry.
All right. That's good.
Let's see.
So, there's a question here that I'd like to actually just kind of address. They're asking if areas like the Dev Hub are in the offline mode of the game. Well, that would be telling you, but So, yeah, there might be a way to get to that type of stuff. Some players who are a little bit more adventurous have figured out ways to do things in the offline mode like that. I think maybe you might want to reach out to somebody like Merrick Dragon and ask him about that.
Oh, and those boxes that you saw in the Dev Hub are all full of, like, pretty much the rarest stuff in the game, so... Lazy devs. Just like, here's the lazy devs. All these chests up here just have, like, infinite items in them.
Well, it's stuff you'd want to use, like, all the time, like, ore and wood and, anything you'd want to use for, like, common crafting.
I take it. Refills.
And you can see in the background, too, there's just ore laid out on the ground. You can see crystals. There's a spot with like a lava lake and a regular fishing lake, so just a convenience area.
And all the merchants over here. Yeah, go visit it sometime. Here's a good question. Lancel Lancermain says, prizes, isn't it XX15 and XX45? Yes, it is. If I'd read your question, we would have done that a little quicker. Now it's going to be XX49 and XX59. So I'll do the next one in another 5 minutes or so. Let's see. Valakor, I've put a ton of ideas for how to open up the game for more types of mages. Would love to get that to you. but want to make sure it's actually seen by you guys. Where do I put it? If you are okay with other people seeing it as well, you could also just put it up as a Google Docs and post it to my Twitter. I'm still trying to push my Twitter. It's so hard getting new fans on Twitter.
What is the Twitter account?
The Twitter account is Catnip Games, at Catnip Games. So you can tweet it to me. You can also message me in the forums. I'm pretty good about answering those, although I do get swamped sometime. I saw the other day, I was in there one time and I came in. The next day I had almost 100 messages in there. So I do get swamped occasionally, but I'm usually pretty up to date on that. The in-game mail is okay, but it's not the best way to get stuff to me because I'll also get the same thing. I'll get swamped. Let's see. Can we get the option to hide locked items in our inventories like we can for quest items? That is actually one of the items that is on the 2020 list as well, is the better inventory filtering. That is one of the specific things in there, is making it so you can choose rather than having fixed tabs, making it so there's basically some check marks where you can go and do check marks. And so the other thing is adding a little bit of syntax to the search where you type in the name so that it's not just you have to have the exact name. So you can do, I'm not sure which syntax we'll use, but it may be just, name space or name ampersand and sign, whatever. If you want to say like stone, I know it's a stone keep. And you can just type in like keep and stone, and you'll get everything that has stone and keep in the name. But anyways, there'll be some actual logic in it. But that is coming. That's already on the schedule. I think that may be the second quarter. Soonish. But anyways, that's another one that'll be on there. Is you'll be able to check off locked items. The one thing we're also going to consider is looking at, if you look at right now, the tabbed interface we have for chat. And make sure I get this out here so you guys can see it. But making the inventory something more like this, where it's, got the whole inventory window there, but you've got some windows up here, and you can come up, you can basically set the, which attributes you want for this window, versus it being a single global monolithic thing. Just because we know you guys want to arrange your inventories different ways. And, you guys actually use bags to do a lot of that stuff, so we need to find more ways to make that easier for you. Again, quality of life is one of the big focuses for this year. Let's see. Can we get guild vendor discount options? Ooh. That's one where, again, I've mentioned before, there's items on the 2020 list that are guild focused. There are also options on there that are, or items on there that are pot focused. Because again, I still believe that in game you have two guilds. You have one guild that's your actual guild, and you have one guild that's your town. Sometimes they're the same thing, and your guild is your town, and you have a guild town. But yes, I'm trying to think how we would do that. Of course, I always look at things from the implementation side of things. We can definitely do it. I'm just trying to think of the difficulties come up with. That's a neat idea, though. I will actually put that into my pad. 1 second. Sure, you guys are ready with a question to answer, right?
I am not. They're not really for me necessarily. Not one that I would want to consume.
All right, let me get back to some of these.
Or at least the one that you put in the live stream, our live stream chat channel.
I got one here.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get the practice dummies for that are in Soul Town for pot placement? And I will look at that and get it onto the list of things to do.
These are working practice dummies, I guess. Which behind the scenes that means they're NPCs, so we would get an NPC that is
right.
That's one also that I talked about on one of my streams here recently. It may have been Wednesday, it may have been last week, but the whole NPC, the idea of having a limit to NPCs on pots is kind of, the idea was that we didn't want to allow people to bog down performance with these, animals running all over your lot, animating and doing tricks and having to think through AI and do pathfinding on your lot. That's something that can actually be costly on client server everywhere, and all the other players who walk by there. The training dummy doesn't really have that. The training dummy doesn't think. It just knows how to be hit. So it's technically it's an NPC, but it doesn't incur the cost that the other guys do. So I was actually suggesting we just remove that as an NPC cost. We can set a weight on it, and we can just turn off the weight and make it not cost anything. And we do still also, we have a limit. Right now, one of the things I've been looking at is we have some stuff that can be placed as pot NPCs, and some things be placed as a lot NPCs, and they have a lot of differences between them. So we may just have to have a different training dummy to place. Now, normal decos you can already, it's just a flag for those, but the way that NPCs work on a pot and a lot is different. So that's one of those things we may just have to have a separate version. But here's the pot version of it.
Yeah.
And
we'd have to make sure there's still enemies. Of course, we don't want to flip their faction to anything friendly because you need to be able to attack them. And we have two training dummies and one archery target that are basically all in the same boat. So if we do one, we should do all three.
All right.
I agree with that.
The next round of prizes is up. You guys want to read that out, and then I'll answer a few more questions, and we can call it a night and go start our long 3-day weekend. You guys get a 3-day weekend, right? Sorry, my wife gets off Monday for MLK Day.
I know not what you speak of.
Yeah.
Elgarian, I pasted the prizes to you if you want to do it.
Oh yeah, I can read them out, and I will deliver them here in a second. All right, so looks like we got the Cordovan Harp goes to Z. Congratulations. Sage Redhammer, you have won the Ornate Marching Band shirt and hat. Spungwa, you got the 5-piece one-man band coming your way. Hex wins the Ornate Grand Piano. And Gulon Hammerthrow, the Westminster Hammerthrows, wins a large fancy pavilion. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Congratulations. I'll rapid fire through a few more questions here, and then we can wrap it up and call it a day, a week. I think first I just wanted to say these three guys, that other guy who was on here also too, but having these two new guys on the team to help distribute some stuff has made a massive difference. You guys have really, again, the players probably won't see a lot of what you guys do, but what that does do is it means that, like, I know I have a ton more free time, and I have a ton of stress lifted off my shoulders.
They both do great job.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And again, you guys will see, many of you will see what they do, because like they went through, and basically yesterday they were like, or 2 days ago or whenever it was, they were like, we want to do the support queue. And I was like, you don't want to see the support, you don't want to do the support queue. I like you guys are doing great. I don't want to lose you to the horrors that are in the support queue. But they went through and worked together, and they're apparently still here, so. But they cleared up the support queue, got everything answered and taken care of. I think they've got a number of people on there. And again, I did you guys add addresses to that the spreadsheet for shipping?
I'm going to work on that tonight.
Okay. Yeah, because
we're not actually caught up on all support items. So we've got a backlog still we're working.
You got them organized, and you replied to some of them, I know. So
it's an extremely small number versus what was there. Give us, for everybody, give us about a week to get completely on par, I think, right? Maybe.
Yeah, and then we can say, if there's anything unaddressed at this point, put in the ticket again.
Exactly, then just send another request in there. Right now, we're any new requests that come in, we're able to address within a very short period of time, so.
And also, let me say thanks to Epic Uger. I'm not sure which one that is. Again, all these names, if you want us to pronounce it right, you got to put an underscore
It's
in there.
Uger, because he's Uger Booger, I think is what it's short for. I had some chatting with him in a message. He had trouble with the quest, and his friend helped him work it out.
All right, and thank you, Eileen Dragonfire, and since you reminded me, also remember there's a dance party tomorrow that if you're missing DJ on DJ Darkstar on today's stream, he'll be on some of the streams going forward, but he'll be there tomorrow DJing. You can go harass him there if you want. and I'm going to try to stream it since it seems like I have a sick one. But the dance party will be tomorrow. There will be prizes. There will be junk given away at them or at the party. And honestly, let me just say, it's one of those things. Like, I think I'm one of those guys that thinks I'm good at whatever I do. The exception to that would be trying to pick dance music, probably dancing, and of course the reality is like 100 other things, including singing. But I'll never admit to being horrible at those things. But DJ Darkstar is actually Star is actually amazing at being a DJ. It's one of those things. If he ever wants to take up a totally new career in life, he should consider doing DJ stuff. But I kind of knew that because we go to Austin City Limits Festival here in town, which is a big music festival, and he's always at the DJ stuff and the cooler music. So I think we're getting pretty close to done here. I'll rapid fire through a few. I think
I
I
have
answered.
another question I can answer. Vino Corian asked, question for Sanyo, when will you make a dungeon? And then he clarified it was for NPC dungeons. And I've actually made a bunch of them, which are like Brittany sewers and all the locked off interconnection passages underground. Bunker T with its weird dial door, and a bunch of other. Usually they're smaller. They're not like the massive ones like Elysian Mines or anything like that. But usually if it's pretty small, then I've either worked it or reworked. That's it.
Yes. And there's a few dungeons on that list to pick from if you want to grab one of this from me. I'm planning on doing the challenge dungeon. I've already got a start on it. But the Slot Canyon, I've got some prototyping done on it, but I will easily hand it off. Sadly, Sanyo, although he didn't make all the dungeons, he has done janitorial work on all the dungeons, going and cleaning up the messes that many of us leave in there, including on mine.
I've left some messes myself. I've had to go back in and fix some of the problems I've had. And there's some dungeons I haven't finished. Like I have this rework of the Clink that I've been sitting on for a long time.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and some of those reworks
I really want to rework it. It's not a big rework, but it puts in a little kitchen. It makes a little bit more sense with the flow, and I want to give you an opportunity to try to sneak through it as opposed to just fight your way through it or just wander through it.
And I see a message here that person whose name you couldn't actually pronounce, Vino Corlin, says, yes, Tartarum is awesome now, which I will take as a slap in the face, suggesting that it wasn't awesome before.
All I did was give it a little bit of makeup and a hairstyle. You know, the basic bits were already there. I'll say that. I'll be diplomatic.
All right, let's see. Pot dungeon lava fishing in the plans. Lava scenes are in the plans. We will be getting some more dungeon rooms out. Again, that's as Ravlox is, I think, rapidly learning, and I'm sure Algarian will be learning too. It's one of these things that, like, I would really like to do item X, and there's like, you say that 1,000 times about 1,000 different things. It's tough to figure out what to work on. There's so many fun things to work on.
Yep, there is.
Yeah, absolutely.
But let's see, the epic items are coming in. Can we save nodes on the new upgraded map? The new map will be the old map, but it will be opened up for more community development. We will run it, we will manage it, but if other people want to, if there's features that they want to add to it, again, my plan for it is to have a really good backup system for it so that we can actually not live in fear constantly. We will probably put a lot of that stuff into just Git, a source control, and let people actually manage it. We may have to come up with some approval thing where, you know, your changes, if you want to make some development changes, get pushed in there. But there is no private data that will live there in case you're one of those people who are worried about that type stuff. It will all be data that is publicly available.
All right.
And let's see. And as Azazel Reborn For new players that just started to play this game, can we have a market search feature, please? Either per town or a global market search. So again, this is one of those where everybody has an opinion and everybody is floored when they hear that other people disagree with them. But it is one of those things where I didn't plan on doing a global market search. It had been suggested to do a town search. That is one of those things that I see the reasons a lot of people don't want the global searches. Then it's going to turn into people don't really go to towns, to visit the towns. They want to have people coming to towns. Because there's a lot of the towns in the game are worth going to just because players have done such an amazing job with them. But the thing I had commented on a stream, and I think some people were confused about, is right now there's tools. Actually, you're missing the one thing. I need to have the vendor dump. I need to get the vendor dump call function checked in. But once I have that checked in, you guys, someone out there who knows how to write Lua code, knows how to use Elasticsearch, could pretty easily put together easily. That's like Richard always saying easily. That sounds easy to me, Chris. But you guys could write Lua code to dump that data, and you could generate your own global database of items for the global market search. So I'd mentioned that it was possible you guys could do it. We're not planning on supporting it, and that'll be a very clunky thing because that'll also be it'll only be updated when someone actually running the tool goes to a vendor, and opens it up and gets the data from the vendor. But anyways, we did not plan a global market search. We planned a per town market search was the only thing we talked about. But again, I'm waiting to see what the players do. That is on the list, I believe. I forget where it falls, though. Actually, I think that's one that I've commented on multiple times that I didn't put on the list because I thought you guys would beat me to it and I wouldn't have to do anything. But we should probably wrap up here. 5:12, we're late, and I'm going to be streaming again tomorrow, it sounds like. We will definitely be doing some dancing. I did add that to the message of the day. Let's see. Yeah, Eileen, I can flag you, Eileen, so you can actually post stuff in there. Remind me to do that on Facebook or something, and I'll do that offline, so you can actually post a link in there. But let's see, guys. Again, I just want to say I think it's going to be a great release, going down the list of stuff, even though we had the holidays and illnesses and moves and crazy amounts of server work. I think we're going to get a lot of stuff done that will improve quality of life this release. I think for those guys out there who are listening, prepare yourselves. There will be a lot of teeth gnashing because your favorite thing got a little bit harder or upper tiers got a little bit harder. Again, the goal is to make things harder so it's actually challenging, so there's actually, some risk reward cycle in there. Slow down some of the things that are so incredibly trivial but give great rewards. Upper tiers. Actually, there's a number. Upper tiers, Vauban Pass, there's a number of them that are really good or really high risk reward return. But then also remove the attenuation cap so that and again, this is something I was actually just talking to Mac about earlier because Mac was, we were talking about, I mentioned that somebody passed Mac on experience and we were doing the math on stuff, and I pointed out to him that with the attenuation cap in there, it really becomes if you're willing to put in more hours than somebody else, it's not a skill thing anymore. We need to get back to the point where more skillful players who know what they're doing, they get some greater reward out of things, and we can't have that as long as we have the attenuation cap in terms of at least the experience side of things. Again, there's lots of different ways to get rewards. But anyways, that's a big thing, but do be prepared. It will be a little bit more challenging in the upper areas and some of those scenes I mentioned, kind of the top 5, the Vauban Passes, the Brightbone, Tartarus, and also, of course, upper tiers. I'm missing one, but I forget what it is. But be prepared. Those guys will be a little bit more challenging. There'll be a few more. You'll have a few more risks. But again, removing attenuation so that you don't have to do this. And I have players tell me this all the time. I go and I play for 15 minutes, and then I go back to town for 45 minutes. Hey, hero. But again, good with the bad, but we got to get rid of attenuation. We got to try to get some sanity to some of those scenes. And get some sanity to the difficulty levels. I will be continuing to look at, I'm aware of the PvP people's concerns with archery. I'm aware of the concerns with just a couple of the skills out there that are overpowered some of the poisons that are a little overpowered in terms of the chaotic poison and some of the others. But yes, I'm going to be looking at all those things. Hopefully I can get some fixes in for R74. As always, we will continue to patch for at least a week or two after R74. So if your big concern doesn't get fixed in the initial release, don't worry. I will get to it. Someone will get to it. But guys, I think that's it. You see, I'm the new star when it comes to talking, and no one else talks. I normally sit quietly while Star talks the whole time. All right,
That's Star.
yeah, can't replace Star, but Star will be on the DJ stream tomorrow, and I think that's probably it. Did you guys do your one job? You had one job. I know you had like 100 jobs, but you don't even know what I'm talking about. You didn't find me a streamer to raid?
Oh, the raids.
No.
All right, let's see here.
We got Torque. I don't
How
know.
about the original Smelly?
Yeah, that's.
I raided Torque earlier today.
Okay, yeah, let's do the original Smelly then.
Okay.
Although it looks like Crispy. Oh no, he looks like he's sitting idle. I was gonna say he's not on the logged out screen.
I'll give it time.
The original Smelly. Bam. You're getting a raid. Guys, again, thank you so much for joining me. If you have more questions, I'm planning on streaming. Actually, you know what? I probably won't stream on Monday because I'm going to have the family home. I may stream. We'll see how things go. But I'll definitely be streaming on Wednesday and Friday of next week. Make sure and tune in tomorrow at 2 p.m. in White Hart, player-owned town, for the dance party with Darkstar, DJ Darkstar. If you want the name Dorkstar, I think that might be open. I think I might have deleted my Dorkstar character. So I think I do still have...
That would be a good prize getting that
Yeah.
name.
I do have DJ Dorkstar, I think, but I don't think I have Dorkstar anymore. Star's probably out grabbing it right now. But anyways, guys, thank you so much. And we're about to get forced to go raid, so let's go raid the original Smelly. Not the new
Thanks,
Smelly,
everyone.
the original Smelly. Here we go. See you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye-bye.